Okay, we'll move on to our presentation. Today we have Titiana Lamb. She's from Tampa Academy of Hope. She also has some other people with her today, and she'll be presented on Tampa Bay Academy of Hope.
The Academy, let me see if I can work this. Oh, good job. Okay, so the Academy has been around since 1996. We work with youth, we also work with adults, and we work with families as well. Our young people population consists of youth who are I like to call them youth of opportunities, that need support and guidance. The Academy started in 1996. It was actually formulated so that we would work with young people to continue them on their education track and move them on to typically college. We have changed a bit since then, and so we are continuously refining based on our community needs, based on the resources that we're able to receive, and also the challenges and roadblocks that that get in the way of our clients becoming successful. These are some of our partners, some of the collaborations that we have. We're big on partnering in the community because we really want to be able to work with our young people and adults for success. And part of that success is our workforce development program, which is what I'm going to be sharing with you all today. So the problem that we have seen amongst young people, specifically those young people who are in that 16 to 24 age group, the youth and young adults, is that although there are a lot of opportunities for folks who are going to graduate from college, we know that everyone is not going to go to college. And so for those youth who do not go to college, they have fewer chances, of course, of getting well-paying jobs. Many of those students give up, they drop out of school, they really become disconnected from our community. We have our young people that we are working with are typically going to be dropout students, are typically going to be students who are not doing as well in school, and so they are getting out into the community. They may be committing crimes, they may be getting into other types of issues and problems, but the societal cost of the disconnected youth include, of course, higher rates of crime, substance abuse, intergenerational poverty, diminished tax revenues, and loss to employers. When we talk to a great deal of employers, they are all looking for that population of young people. They are all looking for economic growth, development around that group of young people that we seem to be losing day after day. One of the things that we specialize in is talking with employers and getting them to understand that they are missing out on a certain population, and that population is those involved in the criminal justice system. When you talk about adults in the criminal justice system, there are over 2 million adults there. With our young people, there are over 500,000 in the criminal justice system, and oftentimes, because they are disconnected from our communities, employers don't consider that population as a way for them to fill their workforce. And so we specialize in getting employers to understand that these are viable people who can fill those jobs and the needs that they are having. So when we work with our young people and our adults who have been involved in the criminal justice system, what we take is a very inclusive approach. We engage all youth. We look at their backgrounds, where they're coming from. We look at even their racial makeup. And so we specialize in trying to make sure that we're addressing the needs of that particular population. Employability skills such as teamwork, customer service, and problem solving are critical to all of their success. So we address all of those issues when we're talking with our young people. Entrepreneurship, such a big thing now, but it also drives the economic power of a community. So even those things are things that we address with young people. STEM education, we have several areas of training that we provide to young people, including manufacturing, construction, They're going to help me in a minute. IT are some of the things, but across the board, we think that STEM education in any of those areas is important for our young people because they need to know those are the driving forces behind the workforce today, and so they all need to have some amount of STEM education. We do scalable solutions with our employers. We engage on our business level, governmental level, and non-governmental organizations. We form our career collaborative is formed around that so that we can offer our young people solutions. The goal, of course, for us is to reduce recidivism among our young people and also our adults. With our programming, we customize our program. For instance, we work with a group with Department of Juvenile Justice under TrueCore. Our program is customized to their needs and what they need for their young people. The Department of Corrections is also a partner with Tampa Bay Academy of Hope. We go into several prisons. And it is all customized to what they need. But the best part of our program is our employers who engage with us. They provide us with what they want the training to look like. Because it's very important when we are making those matches and those employment placements is that we're giving the employer what they need. So we bring them in, they come and talk to us, they come and let us know, hey, this isn't working for us, this might be better. We want that feedback, we want that continuous feedback loop because that is the only way we're going to help them develop the workforce that they need using the clientele that we have before us. I'm not going to really go into this slide because it really talks about the different programs that we have, but I'll give a brief overview. So with our young people, we start with our young people as young as age 10. Typically, those students are going to be involved in mentoring, continuing education if they need some type of educational support. So that 10 to 18, those students are still in school, and we're providing them with those additional educational supports or mentoring supports that they need. Our disconnected population, that 16 to 24-year-old group who have dropped out of school or on the verge of dropping out of school or having difficulties in school, is a different population. We have two programs, Youth Build and what is our HYPE program, and all of that is about mentoring, it's about workforce development, it's about getting them prepared to go into the workforce. And that's accomplished through, of course, training and then also employment placement. So ideally, when we work with our young people, our programs are built to better connect them with mentors, with training. We don't do any training that does not lead to an industry or a nationally recognized credential. And so we talked about the students at TrueCore. I think in the last month, about 30, 40 students have gotten certifications? About 60, I'm sorry, I'm off. So about 60 students in the last month have gotten certifications in manufacturing through that program. Ideally for us, we're going to, some of the students I understand can leave premises and some cannot, but for us it's about getting them also not just the certification, but them being able to go into an OJT training with our partner employers who are willing to bring those students on and let them work in a capacity, which for me works because I don't believe that students should just be sitting or youth should just be sitting in the facilities. If I can get them a work opportunity and get them some training and a work opportunity and some experience, then I think they're going to have a better outcome and we're not going to see them on our adult side in the criminal justice system. So services provided. So we provide case management with ongoing and consistent personalized guidance and support. Our team typically is going to come up with a plan for the young person so that we can put them on a track, and we are checking the box as to, and I hate to say it like that, but checking the box as to they are actually meeting goals and they are making progress. We do professional development training, which we incorporate positive youth development into that service. There's stabilization and support service, education and training service. financial coaching and income services, adult and family development service, of course, mentor and advocacy services. We also identify and provide additional transportation if the students need. We will actually pick them up and take them to work because we want them to be there. Job coaching, on-the-job training, the employer engagement is a huge piece of what we do, as well as follow-up. So it's not like we're going to get the student a job, place them on a job, and then we're done. We typically are going to follow up with the employer because we want to hear that we are giving them the right people to fit their needs. We also want to hear how the student is performing. We have students who sometimes we say they're not really ready to go to work, but we will place them in a volunteer capacity with a nonprofit agency so that they can learn the soft skills, they can learn the things that they need that's going to help them progress to really needing or really getting to a regular employed job. So the services, we try to do as many services for our students as we can because we want to ensure that they're going to have successful outcomes and that they're going to be a viable member of the community. So extremely important that we wrap our arms around them and partner with the agencies. Again, I go back to some of the DJJ residential facilities that we have been in. We actually go on site and provide the training there so that the student can have the certification. For those students who go away from Hillsborough County and are going back to a different community, in some cases we may have a program in that community. We have Polk County as one of the communities that we service, as well as Pasco County, but we have partner agencies around the state, in Miami, in Gainesville, that we also will prep and say, hey, this is the student coming back to your community. And in some cases, for instance, we have a partnership with Publix, who is all about the young people, who we can say, this person is coming back to your community. This is the person you need to contact because they're going to give them a job. And so we have young people who are making as high as $30 an hour on their jobs after they receive the training, after they go into the employment. This just gives a little bit. So I mentioned our Youth Build program, which really focuses on those trainings. That particular program is funded by the Department of Labor and provides construction, again, manufacturing, and also IT. Those students who complete that program, which is considered a pre-apprenticeship program, can go directly into an apprenticeship program, which is going to continue their training and also employment as well. And this is about our program of helping youth prepare for employment, again, all about employment, workforce development, and they receive very similar services. Most of these students are going to be involved in the criminal justice system. We have reentry programs for adults. I'm not going to go into that. And so for results, I'm always very pleased with our results. Our recidivism rate remains typically under 10% when we talk about both our youth and adult programs. Because, again, we spend a lot of times, each person that completes our program, in some cases, they're going to get 9 months of follow-up. In other cases, they're going to get 12 months of follow-up. Typically, across the board, our programs are going to start for the participant prior to them being released, whether they're in a residential facility, whether they are in prison. It's going to start prior to them getting released. We like to start them 3 to 6 months. We did a group at the Detention West. Those students are there for a short period of time, but they were, 13 of them were able to get certifications. A couple came up because they wanted to go deeper into the certifications. So I'll talk a little bit about that. In our manufacturing certifications, students can get CLA, CLT, CPT, and a CNC. So each level of those certifications give them the opportunity to make more money. It gives them, of course, additional education and training. The basic, the CLA, CLT, Certified Logistics Associate, they're usually helping me, and certified logistic technician are going to start. Those are entry-level warehouse jobs. Most of our employers will start them off at a minimum of $16 an hour. We have a few who try to slide us into the $14, $15 range, which rarely do we accept. But they're depending on how hands-on they want to be with our student, but most of our students will start at about $16 an hour. As they move up, if they go on to the CPT, that will give them a little, they're in that about $20 an hour range. The CNC can get them anywhere from $35 to $75 an hour because it is a very highly demand field. Along our construction tracks, they're going to start off with the base, which is a NCCER. Our employers will bring them in as a person who's aiding on the field, but they can go into a trade if they choose to do so. Electrician, we do plumbing, carpentry, so they can go into additional fields. And typically with those employers, they are going to match them up with a person who's going to work on site with them as they are training, which is very important because we like to see a lot of hands-on activity with our students. On our IT fields, they can do a networking and cabling stint. They can do, which of course would allow them to wire this entire room. They can also go into the Microsoft. They can get any of those type of certifications as well. They can get cybersecurity certifications. It depends on how high they want to go, but we also look at backgrounds because it's very important, particularly on the IT field, that we look at their backgrounds because sometimes they can't get certain jobs. And so we pay particular attention to that because we don't want them to be disappointed. So over the last 3 years or so, we've served over 720 returning citizens on the adult side. On the youth side, we've served over 300. Again, we keep our recidivism rate less than 10%. Again, a little bit about partners and collaborations and our employers, and that is it. Do I have any questions? Yes, sir.
Just a couple quick comments, Ms. Lamb. It's been a few years since I've been out to your organization, and you've really expanded your scope of services to several target populations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Couple questions. You skipped over the adult reentry programming that you do, and I know this is Juvenile Justice Board, but I kind of wear another hat in another meeting and another work responsibility. How is that funded, your adult reentry program?
We have 3 grants from the Department of Labor, so a little over $10 million in funds for that, and then we also we partner, of course, with the Department of Corrections, so some funds there as well.
And what institutions are you currently working with?
We go into Polk CI, we go into the Largo Prison. We have Hardy, Highlands, Zephyr Hills. We can pretty much stretch to any facility across Central Florida. That is our agreement. We also go to Lowell as well.
And where are you primarily getting your referrals?
So the Department of Corrections actually sends us a list of potential participants, and so we're able to go in, meet with those folks who are there, and it's voluntary. They can sign up or they don't. Typically, they will. Mm-hmm.
And do you work with the Hillsborough Ex-Offender Reentry Alliance and HERN?
Right, so we are a member of HERN as well.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive. $10 million is a lot of resources for this community.
It's a big plus. We turn out a lot of CDL drivers. So.
Well, we need them. Thank you.
Other questions for Ms. Lamb? I have a question. What is the referral process for any one of us here?
Oh, did I? Oh, there I am. I brought business cards, all of that, so you guys can contact. There are members of my team here, Mr. Andrew here, who's recording me, And Mr. Reed, who really is very hands-on with our youth and is actually the person going into the residential facilities. Mr. Rogers is here, who oversees our mentoring programs. And Mr. Young is here, who kind of goes between both youth and adult. So again, I brought plenty of business cards, so I'm happy to pass those out, and so you can reach out to us and refer young people as well.
Any other questions? Ms. Lamb, thank you very much for being here and informing us about your organization.
Thank you.